I think it wasn't Saturday. It was,
That must have been Sunday.
no, I think it was Monday.
Okay, it was Monday then.
Yeah, so it would have been Saturday, uh, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, okay.
All
Yeah.
right, so yeah, no, all right, so yeah, it's been 2 days. So I did not go drinking for today's game though. So and they won.
Yeah.
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 All right, I'm Pat.
You're recording?
I am now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm Jeffrey, and we're recording.
we're recording.
Yeah. What?
Nothing. I was trying to think. Monday's game was the game where they lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Where they got it was a retaliatory beating for the 7-0
Right.
hurting that they got put on them.
Yeah,
So
I did watch that one.
I honestly figured that we'd be losing that next game, but I also knew that we'd be bouncing back strong.
Yeah, and we did, but the when they called that one back on penalty, or I mean on review,
Yeah.
that changed the whole tempo of that game.
It did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then it was kind of weird after that. So
It's all right. It's 3-1. I'm not. I there was no prediction where I saw this as being 3-1. I saw this as being splitting games, going down to 3-3 into 7. I still don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that has everything to do with the completeness on Tampa's roster
Right.
and their experience and the fact that they've been there many, many times. But right now they are just physically outmatched.
Yeah.
You know.
So are they back in Denver on Thursday? Or on? I guess that's on Friday.
Shit, that may be on Saturday. I don't know.
Yeah, they might be on Saturday.
Let me see what old ESPN has to say.
What the internets have to say about this?
Yeah, let me see. Do something to get me to their stupid site. I hate ESPN.
I don't use it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like them as an institution.
You don't like ESPN
They
as an
disgust
institution?
me.
Why? What's your latest beef with ESPN?
I don't have a recent beef.
Oh,
It's an ongoing beef.
An ongoing beef.
Yeah, they figured that their way into you know me. I'm big on divorcing political takes from
Oh.
from
Are they still doing that?
they do, and there's a certain amount of support they throw behind it. And look, I understand the reason why, right? So if you turn to me and you're saying that, I say, "Hey, Jeff," it's like, "Yes." It's like, so we formed this network and it blew up. It's like, why? It's like, because unlike your local news, right, which happens at 5:30 and 10, right?
Right.
You get your sports updates at very irregular intervals, right? So we have this 24-hour news network that's going to have constant data. You will always stay up to speed. Say, yeah, okay, that sounds great. And they enjoyed that success for quite a while. I said, hey, Jeffrey. It's like, yes. It's like, our appeal is disappearing because this thing called the internet exists, right? And they don't need to sit through our bullshit for
Ruins
information.
everything.
For information they could get faster
Right.
without having to sit through our nonsense and actually make programming.
Right.
I said, okay, how do we turn this into something that still offers a unique experience? What can they get from us that they can't get from just checking the scores on the internet? I said, oh, well, if we put our own personalities into this, right, that's the thing that you can't get from anywhere else. And unfortunately, sometimes that means that personalities means that you have stupid opinions about stupid things when I'm just interested in just tell me, all right, talk to me about what's wrong with LeBron.
Right.
Okay? Don't talk to me about the bullshit school he founded
Right.
and how he misspells every other word in his tweets. I don't care. Right? I don't want ESPN to be a counterpoint to Laura Ingraham talking bad about black athletes on her stupid program.
Right.
Just please divorce these things. You're already going down the tubes. Your move right now is to say, all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to alienate half the base, right? And this goes into, it doesn't matter whether I agree with your points or not, right? It doesn't belong here. Right? Just in the same way that you can look and say, all right, yeah, you're entitled to your opinion, right? But new drag shows don't belong in schools or whatever, right?
Sure.
Have those opinions privately.
A nude drag show. Yeah, okay. I guess, like, I don't really notice that much on ESPN just because I never watch it with the volume on, man. It's always got the scroll ticker down at the bottom.
Then all you need is the scroll ticker.
Right. Well, yeah, I guess that's kind of my point. Right. So, yeah. I mean, you know, it's usually on the second TV, and then the baseball game's on the first TV. So, and if there's something interesting on the second TV, we hoot and holler at that one. Then we go back to the baseball game.
Right.
Yeah, which does have a second. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So you can watch the actual presentation of the actual game. All right. So let me rephrase this. Okay. Let me rephrase my beef with ESPN. I have a problem with morning ESPN.
Oh.
All right. That's where my issue stems. Because they're going to show basketball and hockey and you know, football, actual games starting at like 2 p.m.
Okay.
Right? But it's the morning where you used to have this is the after events crowd in the morning who is supposed to talk to you about what's going on with KD, what's going on with, you know, the Celtics. You know, you have the post games, evenings games breakdown in the morning. And what I have no tolerance for is politics in my sports.
In your sports. Yeah.
No.
So this isn't like having bacon in your jam, you know? So
I don't really want that either.
yeah, but mildly acceptable. So
Forget it. No,
Oh,
I don't.
okay.
Yeah. No, if listen, let me make it clear. If syrup touches a sausage, you have to throw both of those.
oh my god, man, my wife would piss you off. So she douses all meat projects in syrup.
I've heard of this heresy, and I understand that there are some, you know, descendants of bizarre Assyrian tribes that still follow this
right, yeah.
barbaric practice
of using maple syrup. So barbarians of Saskatchewan.
These people that worship the demon Pazuzu, right? That's all right. I get it. You follow your own customs,
right?
Which is weird because I thought she was from here.
She is.
Yeah.
She's born in that hospital right over there. Yeah. I don't know how Pazuzu got to
Yeah, she was born at Memorial Pazuzu Hospital.
Right, yeah, Memorial Pazuzu. Yeah, the Pazuzu wing.
Yeah. Saint Pazuzus.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. So I've kind of noticed like well, you and I were talking about Juneteenth in the car.
Yeah.
Man, like, I don't know. I might be in the wrong places to see this and things like that. But I did not see half the hoopla around that I expected to see.
No.
Yeah, okay.
No.
And then, like, I mean, on both sides, I didn't see the backlash on it either, you know, kind of thing.
No, I couldn't even get people pissed off on it about Twitter.
No, it would seem like it was kind of a non-thing. I think, man, like, there's just this thing going on right now, and I've kind of noticed this just a little bit, and like the tenor and the tone of like some of the podcast. I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know how it is with the. What did somebody call it the other day? It was great. It was America's Zoo.
Oh, Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh.
So somebody used that epitaph for it. I thought it was pretty good. It's like the place is a zoo. So you gotta either tap the glass or scream back at the monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, and that's the you have to decide what your role is, right?
Right. Yeah.
Either you're a glass tapper, or you're one of the monkeys, or
You're one of the monkeys. You live there.
or what happens is there's one other third breed of zookeeper who like doesn't care about the animals but wants to kind of mess with them, just like they hold like the tigers as meatballs just out of their reach, right?
Yeah.
There's a third group of people where it's not about caring, it's about feigning care because that makes people upset.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's getting a little
I'm
complex
just a bad
ecosystem.
zookeeper.
Yeah,
That's my whole role in here.
Right.
Look, I'm telling you, I tried to take what I thought were good pot shots at June 19th to get people pissed off. Nobody would bite.
No, nobody's gonna bite.
Nobody would bite.
Well, and that goes back to like what I was thinking, man. It's like, you know, it's the height of the summer. It's been awful fucking nice out. You know?
Are you kidding?
What?
These past couple of days, yes.
Yeah, I know. The last couple of days, yeah.
But there's like
great.
20 states right now that have 100-degree temperatures.
Oh, I don't know anything about that, man. I don't live there. So...
Yeah, but the heart of Juneteenth doesn't live in
Right, yeah, in downtown, yeah, in the middle of the high plains of the Midwest.
Right.
Yeah. No,
Right.
I got you, man. But just like it seems like there's not as much like just like absolute fucking meatball throwing going on right now. Yeah, like there was like 6 months ago, you know?
Yeah, that's not true. That is not true.
Well, I don't know, man. I think people are traveling. I think people have gotten tired of it in some respects. I think a lot of people know that the midterms are still like fucking 4 months off. So, you know, maybe they need to go take a breather and do some fishing or something.
That's the question. Do activists fish?
Well, the answer is no. So,
but no, there is still a little bit of gnashing of teeth right now, and that is regarding an anticipated Supreme Court decision.
Okay, yeah, all right, that one's legit.
Yeah, so there's
When's that supposed to drop?
tomorrow.
Oh shit.
Tomorrow.
All right, so fire up your Twitter, folks.
But the problem is, yeah,
Gas it up.
I've been taking swipes at that, and I still have been barely getting any, blowback.
Yeah, swipes on that one.
Yeah.
Oh man, that used to be everybody's hot button too. So,
well,
we'll see how bad it goes.
What that will do is that will eradicate the last of the Ukrainian flags in the bios.
Oh, they got the new ones. Do you see the new ones with the rainbow that's got the brown stripes on the top of it?
Yeah.
Dude, I saw that for the first time the other day. I was like, you guys got to butt in on everything, don't you? So,
the fact that...
So you're just going to have this anti-everything flag. So, and then on top of it is like, all right, let's go ahead and, just put everybody who's against anything that's remotely, I guess, patriotic. I don't even know if that's right, man.
Patrick.
It's just like, what?
You know how this works. The more colors of paint that you add to a mixture,
it becomes black. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And you have contradictory things in the new... Put Ukrainian colors in the flag.
Yeah.
Who does not support gay marriage in any way, shape,
No,
or form.
not at all. Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like being black in China. It's just not good. Yeah.
Like it exists.
Right, yeah.
But...
Yeah, but you can have it rough, man.
You keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny. I was talking with one of my Russian students, and she mentioned that she, the way she said it, she's like, so my Russian relatives have now moved here for business, right?
With the dick quotes. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And her basic approach was, her relatives are like, it's what month? What are they celebrating? And it's like, this doesn't happen where I live. Like, you have a whole month to this?
Yeah, welcome to America. So, hey man, everybody gets their month here. So, just a lot of people chose the same one, I guess now. Yeah. So, No, it was just kind of, yeah. So I haven't seen as many of the Ukrainian flags.
You won't.
Yeah, I don't think so
No.
either, man. So, like, I don't know, man. I'm getting I'm getting a little dour on that one, but I'm not gonna, yeah. I haven't done all my homework on that one just quite yet. So.
No, and part of that too is I have not had. It's sort of found its way out of the news cycle, so it's not forcibly interjecting itself into what
No.
I've been reading, so I haven't been following as closely.
No, there's a lot of people who stop paying attention probably tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. So, because I mean, it's been a month, and so we got to find a new Hitler of the Month club kind of, thing. And so it's probably going to be Brett Kavanaugh.
Like it comes to your house every.
It does. You rip off the stickers and you send it back. It does. You pick your bad guy of the month.
Yeah, that's true. And when you first enter the card, you get 12 Hitlers for a penny.
You get 12
And then you have to buy one.
And then you're signed up for a year, man. Yeah.
You just have to buy 12 more Hitlers.
You're gonna have tons of Hitlers in your mail, man. So, but yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna stop paying attention. That's gonna be a problem. So, I get it, man. I get it.
Well,
it means that you'll actually get some serious folks. Hopefully some of those voices will start to rise up a little bit. So, because I've run into some people who are very, very, very sour on this, man. So
what is the source of their sourness?
It's just like he's gonna win. Putin's gonna win. So it's, anybody knows anything about military, and actually takes a look at the numbers behind this and sees what he's doing, it's like motherfucker's gonna win. So he's gonna kill tens of thousands of people. So
it's just classic siege tactics.
It is classic.
Dating all the way back to the 12th century.
They've turned it into tower defense, man. So they've turned it into tower defense using towers as offensive weapons.
They sort of are.
Right. Yeah.
No, you're right. And that's true. If you did upgrade those towers enough in Warcraft 2, they could eventually become.
You can use them offensively. Yeah. Oh, I used to do that. You remember the sandbag tactics in CNC?
I didn't do so effectively, but yes.
Yes. So where you just line sandbags up and then build like fucking towers of Nod,
Absolutely. Well, yeah, you could also do that with silos.
Silos.
Yeah, little silos. Yeah. But you're absolutely right. Yeah. And my understanding is there's a new crop of very sophisticated towers going to Ukraine. Courtesy of the old red, white, and blue.
Well, yeah, but not as much as they need. And here's the real thing that I didn't think about before, but somebody pointed out. One of these defense dudes that I listen to from time to time.
Ah.
So he was like, so every last piece of military hardware in Ukraine up until about last fall, all right?
Yes.
Came from one place.
Russia.
And they're out of ammo.
Yeah.
Where do you get the ammo for those things?
Russia.
Right. Do you think they're selling? Not directly, no. And so the Ukrainians have gone around and basically depleted the stocks of every single Russian-based military in the Eastern Bloc. That's why, Poland's like, here, take all our tanks. They don't have any fucking ammo for them anymore. So it's crazy, man. So there's like, yeah, all he's going to do is start just lobbing thousands and thousands of shells. He doesn't want to take any of the cities. He's going to level all of them. So, and it's just like, oh my God, man. Then this just like makes perfect sense. So what are you going to do? So yeah, so I'm a little sour on that one now, man. I'm not as optimistic as I was a couple weeks ago. So
it's hard for me to say.
I might change my mind.
And you raise an excellent point. Especially when it comes down to it, from my amateur analysis, from the beginning, where it was like, all right, well, you failed to. I will argue that he meant to achieve victory quickly.
Oh no, I think so. Yeah. I agree.
And I don't know if this is just a strictly improvisational strategy or saying, well, what do we have left? Well,
yeah.
starve the fuckers.
I think it's kind of like that. Is like, well, how many hundreds of thousands of artillery shells do we have? They say, well, we have like 7 million. It was like, well, fucking use those, kind of thing. Yeah.
Like, do you have to get close? No.
Nope.
All right. Well,
All right.
park as far away as you can and actually hit the target.
Yeah.
And just keep shooting at it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So it could be that, or it could have been that was Plan B. But from the reports I heard from Russian intelligence, that was not how things were supposed to happen.
No, I don't think so. I think there's probably a consensus on that, you know, like after the initial strike, it was never in the plan to actually retreat from Kiev.
Right.
So, but then after it was like, okay, that didn't work. What are we going to do? You know? So, and it's like, well, and I mean, there's like a historical like precedence for this too. I mean, the Russians have always been bad whenever they started a war. And then they either got really good at it or they got
lost.
really bad and then they lost. Yeah. So, but usually quickly. So, you know, like, but not always. So it just depended. You know, usually they fought everybody to a standstill at least. So the exception would be the Crimean War where they got wrecked. So,
well, and before then, if you're talking about,
oh yeah,
if you're talking about, say, those years between, I don't know, 900 and
Mongol days, yeah,
right. But, I mean, see,
yeah,
the Mongols, unfortunately, they really were the 1980s 49ers.
So, yeah, you can just swap out Steve Young anytime, man.
That, and you know, when it came down to it, a lot of teams tried to put up the best that they could, but this was, you know, before the free agency era,
right.
And things were crooked as they got.
Yep.
And that unit stayed together for quite a while.
Yeah. So much they named an offense after it. Yeah, so I don't know, man. But yeah, I mean, seeing a lot of the flags peel off there next week will be... I mean, so yeah, there's a couple things like that are going on right now. So the Ukrainian flag, you know, which I've seen less of, but yes, they're still everywhere. Yeah, the full M&M rainbow flag. So now with all the colors.
The Skittles.
So
yeah.
No, man. There's no such thing as brown and black Skittles, man. So you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Are there actually more colors of M&Ms than there are Skittles?
I don't know. I think there's 7, but there have been multiples over the years. So, because remember, they used to have like tan ones. They don't have tan ones anymore.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that also doesn't count all of the... So if you take Skittles as an aggregate, because they have branched out into tropical flavors and all sorts of other things, yeah, I would imagine
They got Mountain Dew flavor ones, man.
I'd imagine that when it comes down to it, I'd imagine that there must be at least 30 colors of Skittles in whole. But when you talk down the OG experience Skittles, the ones that everybody knows and loves, I think there's 5.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think M&Ms are the same. There's 5, and then later they had the blue one, and then they got rid of the tan one. And so I think it went back to 5 too. I don't know, man. I got a shitload of M&Ms at home. I should just go look.
I never asked you to do research on them. I mean, that's the tough thing is...
Let's ask my daughter.
Yeah.
She's the one who eats them. So.
She awake? We call her right
now. I call her right now. Hey, count up how many colored M&Ms there are. Not each one. You know, looking for species, not population here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, there's definitely they've had some changes over the year, but yeah, the flag's got like 19 stripes on it, man. So
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, the first time I saw it, like, I mean, when was it? It was actually like an article from the Navy, of all things. So I keep up with Navy articles and stuff, you know, because I'm a dork. So, but anyway,
I like boats.
I like boats. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fine.
So anyway,
fine. I read about fighter aircraft for the same reason. So.
I read about fighter aircraft as well. So they're well, specifically Navy ones, but you know. So, but yeah.
Well, in theory, we have a multi-branch fighter that goes between.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was at the bar the other day. It's just as I was walking in, I saw a whole flight of 3 F-35s come in. They're pretty planes, man.
Well, and there was something interesting that happened with these a little while back. I might have told you about this.
What's that?
Okay, so for a while there was a little bit of people were down on the F-35.
Well, yeah, it had a lot of development issues, man. It fucking crashed a lot of them, man.
They did.
Oh yeah.
And that's the rubber meets the road of, like, you write this stuff on paper and you say, all right, well, if my calculations are correct, this will be adaptable to all circumstances.
Yes.
And our government was like, okay, got it. Let's buy all of them.
Let's buy all of them.
For all of our things. So there was some problems with that. But one of the problems that they had, this is where, we've talked about the F-22 Raptor and how it is incredibly maneuverable.
Oh, yeah.
Right? More so than the F-35. What they learned was, through more test flying and things like this, is that the F-35 can match the F-22's maneuverability, but not the way that they intended. It was basically a way that if you fly this thing, and they kind of discovered this not quite by accident, but essentially it's like being able to, I don't want to say power slide,
yeah,
but essentially rotate the thing,
yeah,
in midair. They do a version of this in the new Top Gun movie with the 5th generation fighter that they're going up against, which is
with Super Hornets of all things.
Well, look, the point is that they're distinctly outmatched, right? That's the point of it.
Well, so the F-18 is supposed to be outmatched?
Absolutely, yeah, because they're going up against.
Okay.
They're going up against the country of unknown origin,
right.
5th generation fighter, and they show a technique kind of like this. But this was something that they discovered where, like, holy shit, this is a game changer.
Yeah, for the F-35, I can imagine that. So, I know the Navy was reluctant to actually adopt F-35s, although they have, for some of their operations.
Yes.
And the reason for that was just because it cannot carry near as much ordnance as a Super Hornet does.
No, because it has to maintain its stealth profile.
Right, and so the Navy doesn't really do air-to-air combat. We fly in your country and drop JDAMs on things.
Right, right.
So I know that they were a little bit reluctant for that specific reason. But who knows, man? That might be different in the future. You never know. So,
well, I mean, I don't know how to get past physics on this one, but yeah, it's absolutely true. Where the whole thing is, in order to maintain that profile, you can't have your weapons on the outside.
yeah.
So,
my understanding is that most stealth profiles actually don't work that well.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah.
But, when it comes down to it, man, I guess I got to ask you, how many of ours have been shot down?
Oh, well, no. And that's because one of the things that the United States military, the Air Force in particular, has been very good at for many, many years is finding your SAM sites.
Sure.
And striking them.
Yeah.
And so we've been doing that since Vietnam. And so, it's been a while since the United States has actually lost a fighter to SAM fire, if I'm not mistaken. It has happened.
It has. And shit, we've lost, fighters to just technical issues,
Sure.
So there is.
Well, we probably lost more to that than to, like, SAM fire. I think the last one was actually in Bosnia. It probably was. Yeah, it probably was Bosnia, come to think of it.
To SAM fire? Okay.
Maybe.
I'm
I don't
not
think
sure.
we did actually lose any to SAM fire during the Iraq War. I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm not even. It's so infrequent that we don't know.
Yeah.
What I will say is, and this. All right, I'm not gonna pick on Top Gun for this, because there is a little bit of, like, come on, right?
Sure.
And I don't mean that is there's a little bit of, like, boy, these recruits sure are diverse, but I'm not gonna pick on that, right?
Sure.
You know, because one of them is a woman, and she's supposed to be like the second best.
Mhm.
Okay, and they do have female
Yeah.
pilots.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
The problem, this is the thing that sucks about it when you break down the truth of it, right? There's been exactly one female pilot that flew an F-35.
Mhm.
Okay, she crashed it
Yeah.
off the edge of the runway
Uh-huh.
of an aircraft carrier.
Okay.
Yeah, you have one female pilot, and that's what she's done with it. I am not drawing
Yeah.
any comparisons, but I'm like, all right, no, I got you.
I'd be very surprised if there's only been one. So,
That's flown the F-35.
yeah, I'd be very surprised if that remains true, if it is actually still true. So, I'm not saying that it wasn't true at that point in time. But
This was as of like a year ago.
yeah.
This is when it happened.
Well, and the
It was a
Navy
big
hasn't been
deal.
using them for very long. So, you know.
And this is not me picking on women or anything like that. That's not it. It's
Yeah.
just if you actually go to the record, it's not good.
I don't know, man. So, from my understanding of what I know about the Navy, I don't know about the Air Force, but women have been flying F-18s for
Right.
decades now.
Yeah.
In fact, that whole incident, do you know about the white Tic Tac incident? So with the UFO and the guy who's like on the Nimitz, and you know he's the guy who spots it. His wingman is female in that one, and so that was in 2002. So you know they've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
So I don't know about the Air Force though, man. So if there's any place where I can expect to see rampant sexism, it probably would be the Air Force. So
Over the Navy?
Oh, actually, I don't know about that. You know, the Navy did have that whole thing going on for years.
They did.
Yeah. I'm just speaking from like kind of like the experience of like I have with folks that I know that were actually pretty high up in the Air Force. So they're very much so kind of like you belong in the kitchen kind of thing. So
I don't see that as changing from any other branch. We just happen to have a lot of Air Force bases here.
That's true. It might just be my own dealings with them.
Shit, my own pop was very much like, oh, they can do the job as well as a guy can.
Yeah, no, my dad was too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And that was a while back. That was
that was Iraq 1, man.
I mean, you know, not that okay, I'm just saying that these were, you know, practically the unenlightened days by modern standards, but yeah, that's kind of exactly the same. That's how my dad brought me up, man. That's
sure.
You know, for all the like dumbass like sexist jokes I'll make from time to time, that's my legitimate position is like, hey, you do the job, all right, cool.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I experienced none of that when I was growing up. I had to get on a job site before I started seeing rampant sexism. So
Don't get me wrong, it exists.
oh fuck yeah, it
I
exists.
don't condone it.
Oh no. I even tell my students this. I contend that it's way more common than racism. So
100%.
yeah, it's way more common. And the most common form of discrimination you'll find on the workforce or anywhere is ageism. So
100%.
absolutely.
Yes.
In fact, I think you would have a hard time finding a workplace where you don't have that.
Even if it's tamped down, it's still present.
Yeah, it's still there, and it goes both ways too, man. So which is really interesting. So it's not like sexism, which basically all runs in one direction. You know, it's more so like in some places. Well, fucking Jerry, he's 72 years old. You know, and like the guy's been around here forever. He needs to fucking retire and leave us alone. Blah blah blah, and move out of that job and yada yada yada. And so you'll see it go upwards, and then you'll see it just the opposite. It's like, oh well, you know, there's Jerry. He's 22 years old. He doesn't know shit from Shinola.
Look at this fucking new guy.
Look at the fucking new guy. Yeah. No, it runs in both directions, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? And that actually does make sense because I mean, in theory, you might feel some more solidarity with your age cohort than you do.
Yeah.
The difference between the difference between genders or races. It's more so, oh, okay, well, this guy's 28, I'm 25. All right, we're friends, right?
Oh yeah, what year did you graduate high school? You know, and one of those things. You know, it's like, oh yeah, and I saw this in the theater when I was a kid. Oh, I did too. Oh, fuck yeah, it's kind of one of those things. It's just always
Yeah.
kind of like running along one of the same lines because you kind of use that age group as like, oh okay, so I work here. This dude works here. He graduated a year before me, and she over there, she graduated 2 years after me. We all got the same kind of job going on. You kind of like use that as like a way to, okay, this is where I'm at, whereas like me,
Right.
Tom Brady was born 3 months after me. And so,
Yeah. I totally understand.
yeah. I don't identify with that motherfucker.
No. It's there is that, and look, we've experienced this. We've had it done to us. We did it to other people, and we've now had it done because there is this rotation of things that you accept that your generation holds as sacred, right? So you will come across people right now, people younger than you, and you'll be like, "The fuck do you mean Raiders of the Lost Ark isn't the best movie you've ever seen?"
Right, yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, "Hey, it was fine, but I mean,
Right, yeah, it was okay.
it was okay." It's like and they'll tell you some other dumb property that is supposed to be better, and you're like, "I didn't see that. It has kids in it,
Right,
Right?
kids
It
in
looks
it,
like a Disney movie, right? Whatever." And then you go back, and your dad will be like, "Yeah, Raiders is fine, but like, did you ever see Spartacus?" Like, yeah, it was boring as shit.
Dad to smack you. Yeah. Actually, that movie actually holds up really well. So,
Fine.
yeah, it's
Absolutely
fine.
fine. I wish, again, a lot of those things I wish I'd been able to feel the impact of
Sure.
when I was younger. That would have been the coolest, because this is just kind of like a carryover from like 2 sessions ago. We were talking about the purpose of theaters and the necessity of spectacle. And spectacle, if you scroll it back, a lot of that had to do with how many extras do you have on set at one time?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
What was the record? I saw this. It was Gandhi. Gandhi had over 100,000 dudes in one shot.
Okay.
Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But that was like the last.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like what, late 70s, and after that it was like, oh fuck that, we can do that. With like transposing multiple. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, have that guy turn his hat around.
Right. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right, and that also changed, and also like spectacle post 1977 meant something different.
Oh yeah, totally different.
Right. So there was a lot of that, and for God's sake, I mean, if you watch some of the old war movies and you're just talking about, my God, how many troops do they have?
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah. Or God, the Ten Commandments. I mean, this is stuff where you just look at that.
That movie's older than I thought it was too, man. That one's from the 50s. So
it is, and if you watch it, it is a technical masterpiece.
It is. It's amazing.
Still to this day.
Yeah. Oh, the Parting of the Red Sea.
It's still fucking long.
It's
but
way long. But I mean, that's back in those John Ford days where it was okay to actually have a 3-hour flick, man.
Well, yeah, because they respected, like, well, how long is this going to be?
And you had a 25-minute intermission in the middle of it.
You bake smoke breaks into it.
Yeah, you do.
But that
you smoke in the theater.
I was gonna say you don't really need to have a break.
Yeah,
you can do that
you
there.
do that in the theater.
I think that's the fresh air break.
Yeah, this is where we have to air out the theater.
Yeah. And you go eat something and whatever.
Right. Yeah, have a dry martini.
What the fuck? Can you imagine at this point going to a theater right now, having it stop, taking the time at that point, and then discussing with people how the movie is going to end?
Oh no, man! I can imagine doing that at like Kimball's Twin Peaks or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where I'm there with other art dorks. So
Yes.
So who are like waiting for the intermission because they want to say something because they know not to yell out, "Get him, Die Hard."
Not what you're there for, but yes, you're absolutely right. It's like, you think Die Hard's gonna win?
Yeah, you think Die Hard's gonna win? You think Jurassic Park's gonna get him?
No, you don't need to shoulder tap some dude with a fedora to talk about if Die Hard's gonna win or not.
Well, he'd have his hat off, but
well,
in that crowd, yeah. So,
but you understand, yes.
No, I got you.
Yeah, he's outside smoking like some weird European cigarette.
Oh, with the holder, yeah. So, it's made out of ebony. You know? Yeah, no, but I mean, it's like, so even the allure of spectacle these days, man, I don't even know where it's going to come next. I don't think it's going to be the theater the way that it was before. Now, like when you and I were like young men, the spectacle was games, you know, when certain game titles would drop.
Oh, okay.
You know, and everybody had to fucking play that game. You know, it's like we all had to jump on Halo. So, like, or there were a couple big titles that would drop, or like Halo 2, I remember particular dropping.
Got that at midnight.
Yeah, no, I remember. And then you'd have the line outside the Best Buy, and like dudes with the tents and shit, you know.
I did that at GameStop. Yeah.
GameStop, yep, there you go. And so, you know, so there was a little bit of that, but now, like, it's impossible to even remotely come close to actually catching even half the titles that come out a year on Steam. You can't even do it, man. So, in fact, there's major properties out there that I'm still like waiting on to drop down to $25, which means I'm going to completely miss that bandwagon for another year. So,
well, okay, you're talking about a completely uprooted market from what we knew at that time, because at that point it was a rare intersection where the risk takers were the big spenders.
They were the big spenders, yeah.
Right.
And you still had to get a disc. So
Absolutely.
if you didn't have the disc, you weren't playing it.
So there was a certain amount of innovation that you expected or something new from big budget titles. Now I can tell you, the games that I have played in the past 5 years are far more innovative than anything I played in my past. Sometimes the graphics are very simple. Sometimes the gameplay is simple. But there is a unique mechanic to it where it is, if I want a certain experience polished to a mere shine, that is going to stretch my video card's legs.
Yeah.
Right? Then I'm going to go buy Resident Evil 8. And I'm like, these graphics are dope, and this experience is crafted like a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Right? And if I'm looking for to go outside and smoke European cigarettes with the
fedora crowd,
with the other guys, I'm like, have you played Papers, Please?
Yeah.
Completely innovative game. I can't. I swear the budget must have maybe
$20.
pushing four figures.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
A couple pizzas.
I feel like that movie, that game may have been made with an unsecured loan.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
So, well, actually, it was probably just made with PTO.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, but like,
and film's
okay.
going to be the same way. Film is absolutely. It's already going that way.
No, it's just it's not quite gotten to the point in time yet, and I think there's like a couple reasons for that. Is like, so like there's so much more money to be made in games in some respects.
Yeah.
The other thing is that like there's a lot of people who grew up after you and I, who like. They're very, very like they're defined in what they expect from a movie, but it's still an open question with the game. And so they haven't gotten back to that point in time where it's like, well, I want to go see this because I want to see what happens, you know. So where like with a movie, it's like, well, okay, if you're under a certain age, you know the good guy's gonna win, and if you're in a certain age band later, you know the bad guy's gonna win. So. Or the good guy's going to struggle with it and, like, you know, might win, but, you know, it won't be the same, you know, kind of thing.
Right.
So, towards the end, so you kind of know that. And so, like, with games, though, it's so a la carte at this point in time that, and, like, you know, it's kind of interesting because even though I'm quite a bit older than my students, I'm still up to speed with most of the game titles that they're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're not really, like... You know, it's not like they're actively distancing themselves from previous titles like people do with movies. Yes. You know, does that make sense?
100%. And you know what? More so than movies, I would argue that their flagship games are more of cultural touchstones than actual movies. Because I'm going to tell you this: there is a group of people right now between the ages of, I don't know, shit, I'm going to put us on the outside. I don't know how far it goes beyond us, but everybody has spent time with Minecraft.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody is at least tangentially, even if they didn't play it, they're aware of Fortnite. They're aware of
GTA 5.
GTA 5,
Yeah.
but I was going to say, like, you know, Roblox, even though I
Roblox.
find the game just absolutely stupid. There are a lot of people
It's not
who...
really a game, man.
Well, a lot of people grew up with it. A lot
Yeah,
of people
no.
absolutely grew up with it. Right?
Roblox is one that I don't necessarily understand, although I do understand that the company itself is like a special brand of capitalist evil. So,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it is a little problematic. You know, but whatever. Yeah, but then there's like other media platforms that I'm kind of at the end of my journey in terms of like, you know, how much further am I going to go? You know, in terms of like these cultural pieces that are really important. Like I will never have a TikTok account.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with my own cultural restrictions. I will
Well, sure,
not
me
support,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, I will not support that regime, but
Yes.
at the same point in time, that's a bridge to whatever's next. I ain't gonna make it over there now, you know. So it's not gonna be the same. Or I'll be that old guy who's like 60 years old trying to fucking figure it out, you know. It's gonna be different. So than before, where it was like, okay, I can duck out of Facebook, but there's like 4 or 5 other platforms right now, and so I'm on a couple of those. Fine, you know. It's like I'm still moving forward with things. TikTok's my hard stop on certain things. So
Fair enough.
yeah,
Fair enough. I guess to me, when it comes to like, look, from the very beginning, I haven't been like a very active social media user.
sure.
And when it comes down to it, I don't the one I really use now, I don't use it for what it's intended for.
Yeah.
Like, there's no version of this where I'm connecting with anybody or sharing meaningful ideas.
You're just throwing rocks.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. That's what I do during my break.
Right.
That's when I'll just sit there and like, I wonder if I could piss somebody off, right?
Yeah.
But I guess with the way that it's developing, it's so ubiquitous in culture. To me, it almost comes down to if your last car was an '85 Oldsmobile
Mm-hmm.
and you've just been driving it for a long time, and then you bought a car now, it wouldn't feel like it would be different, but it's not quite a spaceship.
That's a really good analogy. That's almost perfect. Yeah, because it'd be like, man, I just want my old blah 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 back. You know,
Yeah.
it's like so. There's a lot of features in modern cars and things like that that even I've seen kind of come and go.
Yeah.
To the point in time now where it's like, what the fuck do you mean I have to turn my lights off when I leave my car? What the fuck kind of Stone
would I
Age
do
thing
that?
is it? Yeah, exactly. You know,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
you know, but then again, like then I drive my old truck around. It's like, oh yeah, I gotta remember to turn the lights off.
Yep.
Otherwise, gonna burn up your battery, son. You know?
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely right. Yeah. And you know, to me, it's so just entrenched in the culture now that yeah, it's still a car. If you jumped in, there would be some things that I don't know how you could insulate yourself from it, but there would be certain things where you take the fob and say, how the fuck do I start this car?
Right.
Say,
Yeah.
well, you just have it with you and you press the button.
Yeah. It's just got to be in your pocket, and it's like, what the fuck kind
You're
of
like,
sorcery is this?
Exactly. I understand.
I am going to be driving this car, right? You know.
I understand that there's an offshoot of Assyrians that that
Practice a certain particular type of magic. Yeah.
that mix their meats with their syrup,
Yeah.
right? I get it, but you would after a couple of weeks, it would not be the same thing where you have your helpless mother who's like,
Oh yeah.
I think I just sent this guy $60,000.
Yeah, that actually happened to my mom the other day. So,
Did you? Yeah.
yeah, she started a PayPal account because she wanted to order this shit that she thought was really cool, and you know it was on sale and blah blah blah.
Did you get the password?
Um,
Reset email?
yeah, she got all the things and stuff like that, but fortunately, like she was smart enough not to link to her bank account. So
Okay.
she linked
Okay.
to her debit card, which is fine. because that's all covered and insured and all that shit.
Yeah.
So, but she just felt so fucking bad. She was like, "They're gonna steal everything of mine." I was like, "Ma, you're okay. You did the right thing." But I mean, just like the like, there are a few things that are as gut wrenching as like seeing your mother completely helpless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and it
yes.
was just one of those things where she felt so bad. And she felt embarrassed to ask me about it.
I know.
And I was like, never ever feel embarrassed about that. That's totally fine. You did the right thing. Your instincts were right. You're calling me. That's a good instinct too. So don't worry about it. And yeah, after a day, we got it all sorted out and stuff.
Yeah.
It's fine. But, it was like, all right, so like, understand that like, you saw this pair of shoes that you liked, and it was 15% off. Okay, a $70 pair of shoes. Okay, so you're talking about $10 of savings on there. Was all that heartburn worth $10 of savings? And she was like, no. And I was like, okay, you're in a position right now where you can just go through the front door. You don't need to be finding sneaky ways to coupon your way in the back.
Unless you really
get a kick out of it.
Unless you really like. Look, man, there are people who, if they get something for 50 cents off,
yeah,
it's a small emotional win.
So my mom used to be like that, but I mean, we're talking like 20 years ago. She was like, maybe 30 years ago, maybe even when I was still in the house, kind of thing.
Dude, my mom was a garage sale haggling warrior.
My mom was too. So, and then, so it's like, it took her a while to kind of get used to that. And then ever since Dad died, she's gotten a little bit better about like, well, I can afford that. I can treat myself a little bit and stuff. I was like, absolutely, it's your money, Mom. If you want to spend it all on ice cream bars, go for it. Do they make you happy? Then eat them.
Right.
Buy as many as you want, Mom. You don't need my permission. But if you do need my permission, you have it.
Right.
Right. So,
yeah. Totally understand.
Yeah.
Absolutely understand. And you know what? I guess the flip around is, I can go back to those Wild West days of the internet. So if my mom has something like that, I can say, oh no, don't feel bad. Let me tell you the story of how your youngest son got.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's happened.
Yeah.
Right? Granted, most of the time it was minor, and sometimes it was seconds afterwards. And I'm like, what did I just do?
Damn it. Yeah. Yeah, you got.
Right.
I don't know, man. But
it's been a long time since I got.
It's been a little while since I've gotten got, but I also realized that they're getting better at getting me. So there are certain things where it's just like, okay, this seems legit and above board. I'm interested in this. Let me sign up for it. And then all of a sudden I start getting emails from like fucking all over the place. Like even before the initial people have responded to me about my inquiry and stuff. And it's like, oh, this is a fucking front. Let me go look at the website again. It's like, oh, goddamn it. Look at that little slash mark right there in between this and that. And it's like, you guys got me. You're not going to send me any information on my warranty, are you?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and it's just like, okay, so now I got to be on extra vigilant patrol for the next couple weeks, while my information gets laundered through the system.
Yeah. And, too, you take that. I will say what they have gotten better at doing is, I used to be able, this is like a metaphor for my own vision, my own uncorrected vision. I used to be able to spot a scam and smell it from a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't got me in a while, but they have got me into on the front door.
Right, yeah, right? Yeah.
Where you have to take the step and say,
right,
I have to Google this, and then you Google it and they say, is this a scam? And you will see tons of people say,
it's totally a fucking
I'm
scam.
out $1,500. It's like, okay. So I didn't get, you carnival barked me up to the thing, right? It's like, I saw it, you put chalk on my shoulder, but you didn't get me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, chalk on my shoulder. God, that's an oldie.
It is. Yeah, because I made this joke with a student too when it came to like traveling to other places. Like she was talking about like maybe you'd visit Brazil. I said, all right. So if I go to Brazil, okay, I want you to think about what kind of guy I am, and I want you to tell me if I survive.
Mm-hmm.
How supportive is Brazil to guys that come off the airport, go outside, and say, "Excuse me, I'm a rube from out of town with a lot of money in my pocket. Can you?" I was like, "What are my odds of survival?" And she's just like, "At the airport, fine.
Okay.
But I will tell you which neighborhoods to never go near because you are not welcome."
No, don't go anywhere near a favela. So yeah. I've had a couple Brazilian students. Only one of them I got to know a little bit.
Yeah.
He's actually a really cool guy, but he was definitely a street kid at one point in time in his life.
Boy.
Well, I mean, he was like,
Yeah.
and he passed for white and everything, you know. So like, I've seen people from Brazil. It was like, whoa, you're from Brazil? So my guess was Nigeria, man. But whatever.
Oh.
Yeah. And so like, it's very,
Yeah.
very diverse country, and so you never really know kind of the background of the person that you're dealing with. But you know, you could tell that he was from like a family that got wealthy, but didn't start wealthy.
Yeah.
Because he was very streetwise. So he'd call you out on bullshit left and right. And be rude about it too, you know? So but yeah. I remember once he was like, so I asked him similarly, I was like, maybe I'll go to Brazil someday. He's like, wait till it gets nicer. And I was like, okay.
I've had 2 Brazilians say that.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, wait till it gets a little nicer. He said it's gonna happen, but he says it might take a little while.
What? This was one of their initial discussions was, so what do you miss about Brazil? And is there anything that you find was superior, in Brazil that you kind of wished you had here? And our one girl, she's like, nothing. She's like, absolutely nothing, except she's like, the women's here are so fat and ugly.
Oh, gee. Yeah.
I was dying, and she wasn't being in a derogatory way, but she was comparing it just to the style of beauty that she was used to. And then she's just like, there's just Brazilian women look different, and American women tend to eat too much.
Yeah, I've never had a female Brazilian student. The men that I knew,
she said the men are ugly. She said,
no, man. Okay, one of them that I knew was definitely he had definitely been through the Eddie James almost skincare program.
Right.
But then like the other one, the one that I was talking about earlier, that dude was fucking Greek god. So
no, and I understand that too. But this was just
he said he missed the beaches. That was the only thing that he missed. So and he said so he had lived in Miami for a little while. He's like, Miami's close, but he's like, it's not the same. So but he said he really missed the beaches. Yeah, but he didn't miss anything else.
It was like quality of life. It was like, how much stuff can you get? How much do things pay?
Yeah.
How nice are the people? I mean, granted, it was that same old song and dance where it's like, you Americans are kind of cold at first. Like, not your interactions are nice,
sure,
but your willingness to make new friends is next to nothing.
Well, yeah, 5 p.m. it's quitting time. I'm going home.
That was my argument.
Yeah.
So the rest of you fuckers want to sit around and talk. That's you.
Yeah, but it's quitting time.
But
so
stop locking the door.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's just that American working culture's always been that way, man.
I believe so.
I mean, they used to put a whistle on the side of the factory.
Yeah, fucking slide right down your dinosaur and
right. Yeah. You are out of here. Man. Yeah.
Well, it's not just that. It's also
like right down on your dinosaur.
Right through the
Your dino
yeah, straight home from there. Yeah, to be completely fair, I honestly think that goes back to puritanical days. Like that is the working crowd. That is the mentality that is there.
Yeah, family over work all the time. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, to the point in time where you neglect your family so that you can work harder.
Not okay. Now we have
the Don Draper world.
Yeah, we haven't quite dabbled into East Asia,
No, not
but
quite.
that's a
Yeah.
little bit different, where it's family over work, but work over family for the purpose of looking like you're working to save, face for your family.
That
I
would
mean,
never fly in America.
dude, it's absurd. Like, even at this point, it is absurd. Think about this, okay? How many people, okay, at your jobs have you referred to by their last name?
Oh, only a few.
Okay.
Yeah, only a few over the years.
A lot of times, that's not a compliment here.
Oh,
A lot of times, it's almost like a derogatory thing where it's like, I'm smarter than Johnson.
uh, maybe
It's-
in your experience.
It's
I mean, like,
uncommon, man. It's
so usually
uncommon.
when we actually refer to somebody by their last name, I can think of two examples in particular. One of them was to differentiate him from me.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so,
absolutely,
yeah.
yes.
And like the other one that I'm thinking of in particular, his first name was Leslie.
Okay.
So
yeah.
he had one of those like 1930s weird names, that you didn't want to call him that.
Are you actually Julius?
Right, yeah.
So
Well, not even Julius, because I've seen that one before.
Well, I
But
came
like
back before
Leslie, and
yeah.
what was John Wayne's original name?
Marion.
Marion, yes. Okay, and so
Yeah.
you'd have things like that.
Yeah.
And so so I've worked with one guy who was referred to that, but I don't know. I mean, I've seen that just as much with like the first name kind of thing. Usually when he had a fuck up, we referred to him as Forrest. So that's a little bit different, though. So
Right.
or
right.
Junior. Junior was the one that you call people all the time. It's like, or Kid. So it's Junior, Kid, stuff like
Oh,
that.
all of the family, Skippy, Tiger.
Yeah, Champ.
Champ.
So
yeah,
good job, Champ.
Chief was kind of Chief is sometimes highly complimentary, and sometimes it is really insulting. Yeah.
Yeah, outside of the military, or I mean, it's almost like a Hitler salute, Yeah, yeah, I'm on it, Chief. It's a way to do that without getting hauled down to HR.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my, yeah. There's a couple more in there that you're absolutely right. Yeah, yeah, because it's not just Chief. There's a. You're right. It's so like the civilian salute.
Oh yeah,
Is sometimes just as derogatory. Where your
that
boss
one's kind of crossing the line.
You're just kind of like, you just get this done. It's like, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, well, if you do it with two fingers, sometimes it's okay. If you do it with the full spread, then that's kind of insulting.
Yeah. You might as well just pull out the middle and let them. It's like, all right, no.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's like whenever you refer to your boss as my Führer or something like that. Yeah.
You can't do that, man. Yeah.
If you're joking.
Yeah.
Right. If the boss knows that it's okay,
right.
and
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
say, oh, it's
click your heels.
yeah,
kind of
like,
thing.
all right, I get it. Man,
it's been a long time since I had a job where that was even remotely called for. So it's been a long time. Yeah, decade.
We've gone on our way to avoid that particular
absolutely
aspect of work life.
Work drama is the worst kind of drama. So
I have no place in my life for internal politics or power struggles at this point.
No, and I mean, so I've been kind of sheltered from that ever since I got on the faculty down there. So, we're kind of free-range sheep. So we each munch on our own kind of like little patch of grass, and, they come round us up every now and then. We don't like it, but we're very compliant.
Yeah, I know.
So, and then we all, eat the donuts, drink their coffee, and then go back into whatever chunk of grass we were munching on, man.
No, you're right, because it's absolutely true. Because what they have to do is every now and then they have to find all of you. It's like, what's this person doing? It's like, well, they've been eating clover all afternoon, and this person's, and then every now and then they bring you in, they brand you, and then
They shear you a little
Yeah,
bit. Yeah, just,
yeah.
it's like, oh, I feel better now. Thank
Yeah.
you. You know,
It's like, we have to make a coat of your productivity.
right.
And then you can go,
We call them final grades.
and then you're done after you go back to eating a tin can,
Yeah.
I get it, but yeah, at this point, I don't know how well, Patrick, you know me. I have fought so many, as the leader of the Rebel Alliance,
Right, yeah.
I have fought and lost so many battles, okay?
Yeah.
Never blew up a single Death Star in my life.
Nope, me neither.
Okay? Never had the cards for it, never had the rolls for it.
Nope.
Okay? But I kept being given that role over and over again.
Well, yeah, but you do fill out your own character sheet, man. So,
Yes.
yes, and so like I don't know, man. That need left me after that first shit college that I taught for. And it was like, all right, fine, good. I fought my fight. So I took my harpoon with pride. And I've worn it around ever since, and it's been one of those things where ever since then, and shit, that's more than a decade now. It's just been like, okay, like I'll find a place where I'm comfortable, and if it doesn't work out, I'm fine with that because I know how to land on my feet now. So I will stick the landing every single time. So and I'm good at it. You're really fucking good at it now. So your brother's very good at it. So I think once you hit this point in time in your life, like it's just one of those things. It's like I'm gonna find a way to eat. So and it's not gonna be a problem. Whereas when you're 22, where it's like, oh my god, I need money for my car payment now.
It is. There's this other thing where you're just mentally. It's not just I need my car payment. It's you look around and say like, is my car payment equal or commensurate or better than this guy's?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I am constantly gauging myself against the places of others, and
I don't even do that anymore, man.
I just do not care. It is.
No, I'm totally comfortable in my own skin, and it's one of those things now where it's like, yeah, I bitch about my salary from time to time. But it only takes about a day for me to realize it's like, man, but like you got it pretty fucking good,
what do
bro.
I get in return?
I know, I get a lot of fucking freedom in return, and I've never had a job that I had quite this much, like an obscene amount of freedom.
Right.
In order to kind of do these things, and on top of it, it's also like I'm coming to the real, like you and I were talking in the car about enrollments. They're not going to let me go, man. I'm a cheap fucking date.
Right.
So I'm budget proof, man. So it's totally cool, man. Someone else get pissed off that they don't get a COLA adjustment for the next 3 years and fucking quit.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
not me. So.
No, I totally understand. Yeah, and that's.
I keep telling my wife about this too. I'm like, man, you work a lot, all right, for how much you get paid.
Okay.
I was like, you should make some compromises here about these things. It's like, so like the first thing that I would do is I would stab back on having to go to the office if I was her at all. All right. So because like, quite honestly, it's one of those things now where it's like you work in your office with your door closed for 6 hours a day, and you do a couple conference calls.
Yeah.
All right. It was like you can easily do this from the basement. And on top of it, you could probably do it on your own schedule as long as you were willing to meet, clients at a certain point in time,
Sure.
right? Stuff.
That might actually be increased flexibility for you and them.
Exactly. So, and so that would be like one thing I do. It's like, well, and if you're not going to do that, and you're actually going to sit around and sit in that little box for 6 hours a day and drive down there every day, and still do the same work, then you should ask for about a 100% day raise. So, because you're getting to the point in time where you're not easy to replace. Okay, so there are not as many people who do what you do, there are very few people who have your level of expertise and are not going to retire within the next 1 to 2 years. Let me get really accurate about
Fair
this
enough.
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, because that's the other thing that I was actually looking at the other day was just like the amount of people who are retiring is huge right now. It's like it's insane how many people leave the workforce every month. Okay, just to absolutely, it's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm done.
This is pure attrition. Huh?
It's not even, it's not like fuck my fucking pizza delivery job. It's like, I've been a lawyer for 40 years.
Right.
All right, it's time to enjoy my time a little bit. I got my money back from the pandemic, whatever, blah blah blah. All right, and stuff like that. Like your brother's field, like that whole like computer science, which, yeah, I mean, I get it. So he's just a single striper in that one. Okay, but like my brother and like his employers and the other guys who hang out at the bar, they are fucking desperate at this point in time for anybody who's even got like an even like mediocre fucking credential in computer science, okay? Or if you can actually program in Python or something.
Right.
Because these are all the people who, like you and I age, and maybe a little bit older than us, they got into that on the tail end where they learned basic and then, VBA and stuff like that, and then Java, and then they turned into the, $250,000 a year engineer guys.
Yeah, but nobody knows Rust. Nobody knows that. Yeah.
Exactly. And now they're kind of like, fuck it. You know what? I'm done. I don't want to drive to work anymore.
Yeah.
And so there's just an insane amount of people who are leaving that. And so like people who are like you and me, were in theory, you'd have like 10, 15, 20 more years in the workforce. We like in the next 5 years, we're going to be the experienced people in the workforce. Like the people with the most experience
it's
as far as work goes. Yeah. And it's weird, man. It's absolutely weird. Like I was looking at it the other day, if I went out there and did something like what your brother did, but did it in data science because I have some background in that, I can make like quadruple what I make right now.
Where would you be working?
I don't know. So that's the thing, is I would say like, well, you can pay me half as much, which is still double what I make, and I'm not going to leave my bedroom, my house.
No, look, the problem here is that you and I are now in this position where condition number one of the job is, well, why don't you guys call me when you need me?
Right, yeah, exactly. Why don't you tell me what you need me to do, and I'll have it to you by this point in time. Yeah.
And the very concept of, well, actually, we're not sure when we need you. We may need you at a moment's notice, so we need you on site from here to here in case we need you.
I'm not interested.
And then you're like, oh, that's cool. I'll bet you somebody else would like doing that.
Yeah, no, that's an awesome opportunity.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having me in. I'm going to take a couple more donuts before I go.
Yeah. Can I refill my coffee? Well,
yeah. I'm going to do that. And then I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the whole thing. Is at this point, I wouldn't go into something without saying, what is the percentage of my time you're going to be wasting?
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a negative way.
Right.
But like, my work right now, everything I do is, I'm in there, I am getting the job done. There is no, hey, come on in for the all hands meeting.
Not gonna do it.
8 hours. Like, bullshit. What are you, nuts?
Yeah. I saw a great meme. I don't know if I told you about this.
What's this?
Before. It was great. And someone had one of those COVID test sticks.
Yeah.
It said, like, boss has meeting, and he's got one of those, and it comes back and it's negative. And then in the next one, you see him with a red pencil.
Oh.
So that would totally be me if they say, well, we're going to have an 8-hour all hands in service. I'd be like, I've got COVID. Do you want me to come? I will. So,
right. Right.
So I'd be like, no. I mean, that I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how much longer people are actually going to care about that. My guess is like we've got maybe about 6 months to milk it before it's completely done.
Oh, they're trying to resell it and say that, hey guys, this is not over, right?
It is. It's over. So it might not be over for China, but that's their problem, man. Here in the United States, they got a new variant that's been tearing ass through the entire East Coast. Nobody cares.
No.
Nobody fucking cares. You know, it's just like you're gonna get sick, and if you do get sick, actually, I saw an article just yesterday that was like a big chunk of you motherfuckers will never get it. Okay. And that's something that nobody expected in the beginning. And then there's another article out there is like many of you motherfuckers will have it, all right, and get it bad once, and then have it like 5-6 more times after that, and not even know that you have it.
That's what
Yeah.
the information that I was reading was that basically with the way that we handled the lockdowns,
Yeah.
right? Which I'm going to break it down for you, Pat. There's part of that made sense, and part of that was
Sure.
a greatly failed experiment where. So you take you take a lockdown situation. You say, all right, so we want you to stay home as much as possible. It's like, all right, got it.
Got it.
We're going to release people for like limited hours and stuff like this, essential stuff where you have gatherings. That person will be exposed. Then you'll be stuck in this room with everybody, guaranteed to have spread it around. What the data
Wait
was
a minute,
showing.
what, did we actually do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Because we were encouraging people to stay home, and a lot of businesses like don't go to work, right? Stuff like that. So what you would
Then
have,
when were you actually interacting with other people?
you go to the grocery store, you go to
Oh, okay.
you do your essentials, right? Or for the few people that were going to their offices and things like that, whatever it was,
okay.
right? They
But that was an explicit stated purpose to actually expose you to
No,
COVID.
no,
Oh,
that
okay.
was
I'm
the-
sorry. I thought that's where
this
you're
was
going
the
with
unintended consequence
Yeah,
was because everybody was cranked up.
that. Yeah.
When one person was exposed, they all were exposed. And what they're saying is basically 100% of you have been exposed to
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
And we did not see the death tolls as was expected.
No.
Right.
No.
So at this point, yeah, the thing that we should have learned, okay, this is something that we should have known about corporate culture from before this became a thing was, are you sick? Go home.
Yeah, go home.
And we should have said, no, being sick is sick. That's this bucket. You do not need to exhaust your PTO
Yeah.
because you caught COVID, because that implies blame.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So it's your fault, man. So, well, and it's like, well, I'm not gonna fucking burn my sick time, my quote sick time, because then I won't have like the weekend or the day before the weekend to go watch my kids' baseball game or something.
Right.
No, like, all right. So I think there's a silver lining on this. It's like if something else were to come out in like 2 years, and I've seen a lot of people say, oh, there'll be another one, blah blah blah. And with the way the Chinese handled this one, yeah, probably
Jesus Christ. I know.
you will not have mass lockdowns here in the United States. It will not happen
Nope.
again. Nope. So, there's your silver lining. If you're upset about how it was handled and stuff like that, great. I hear you. I agree with you on a lot of that. Maybe not all of it, but I am very confident it will not happen again. Unless it literally turns you into a fucking zombie or something.
That's a different problem.
What's a different problem?
We'll cover that as that happens.
Yeah. But if it's like SARS COVID 24-2 or something, people are gonna be like, all right, fine. So, actually the sooner that we get it over with, the better off we'll be. So just fucking toodle along like normal.
Yeah.
If you're immunocompromised, go get your boosters, and stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
So, or
This
if
is
you're
on
concerned
you.
about it, yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine. But people ain't gonna be wearing masks in fucking Costco. We're not gonna shut down the airline system. We're not gonna kill the cruise industry. So, and it's just we're not gonna do that again.
The closest thing I could say is that they will institute a workplace quarantine system where
It might.
person shows this, like you test, right? And they say,
Yeah.
all right, sick people, you have to go home for
Yeah,
X
you have
amount
to
of
go home
days.
for X number of days,
Right.
and I don't think anybody would have a problem with that, because
No.
that was actually like really beneficial for a lot of folks. Where it was like, okay, fine, you're sick, go home, you're sick, and so monitor yourself. And 2 days later, it's like, fuck, I'm really sick, and it's like, okay, you better go to the hospital, But at least you have some people who are kind of watching out for you at that point in time, because I know like, I got put in quarantine once.
You did.
From school,
Yeah, that's right.
and so they started emailing me. It was like, how are you feeling? Checking on all this. And I'm like, I'm fine. So, and then it was like, that's when I got my first batch of state tests. And they were like, take the test. And I'm like, oh, here's my
right.
test. And no, I didn't get it. And they're like, that's okay. You still got to go through your 5 more days of like whatever. And I was like, okay.
Got it.
I was like, well, I'm going to the bar. Yeah. So, but I won't come to work, kind of thing. And it was just one of those things.
Go home, but you can't stay here.
Can't stay here. Yeah. But, so I don't think we'll ever see something like that again.
People won't let it happen.
I don't think
Not
so.
a chance.
I don't think so,
Not a
man.
chance.
I think there's some common collective wisdom, and so a lot of people like to look at, where one thing is going in terms of how the population views it, and they're a bunch of fucking sheep and idiots, and actually no, they're kind of not, man.
No.
And so like a lot of people like saw this one for what it was pretty early. Maybe they were the Cassandras, but like after I would say the first 6 months or so, that's when a lot of people were like, well, those don't actually fucking work. And it's like, no, don't let me in with those fucking nut jobs over there who, take heroin but won't take a fucking a COVID shot. My body is a temple. And it's like, how much weed do you smoke?
I know.
But whatever. And then like it just won't happen that way again.
You know what? And this is sort of the history of this country, right? This is our society. We've suffered a lot of terrible things that could have threatened the very fabric, or did, and we managed to survive it. Basically, like I would say, I don't want to call them extinction level events, but things that would radically have changed either the country or because look, countries have a shelf life, all right, and I'm going to say this way is we've managed to get through it.
Yeah.
But rarely do we do it the same way twice.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, and I was actually arguing with someone about that the other day. So, not necessarily the COVID thing.
Great Depression?
No, 9/11.
Okay.
So it was like, what? If a 9/11 probably happened in 2 weeks here, we would probably not react the same way that we did back in 2001.
Nope.
So, and he was like specifically bagging on the decision to go to the Iraq War. And I was like, man, so he's old enough to remember this. So I was like, you remember everybody was kind of fucking nutso at that point in time. Everybody was mad. Everybody wanted to fight. We go over to Afghanistan. We kick over their sandcastle in like fucking 10 seconds. Okay? And then it's like, well, it can't just be this. All right?
You should... Yeah.
Yeah, well, where's another sandcastle, right? Yeah, there's a big one over there. Let's go get it. Kind of thing. But like, and so the thing about this guy, he was kind of interesting. He's a veteran, all right, and so he did some time, all right, in the sandbox and stuff like that. And he's not there very often, but when he is there, like he and I, we'll chit chat about certain things, and sometimes this will come up. But he's got kind of like the veterans' resentment against the civilians and stuff. Well, you sent us over there and wouldn't let us do things and blah 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 and stuff like that. Yeah. I was like, okay, fair, that's completely fine. It's like, but. And I was asking, I was like, how old were you? And it was just getting out of high school and stuff like that. And it's one of those things that's like, all right, so here's my take on how that whole thing went now that I've had 20 fucking years to think about it. Okay? Is like, we wanted to fight. You guys wanted to fight. Everybody wanted to fight at that point in time. And when it didn't work out for any of us. Okay? Not a single one of us. All right? So we all learned something from that.
Well, okay, let me put this in
so,
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it. So a lot of people are out there who are fucking mad because there's these dudes hanging off aircraft wheels last fall. Okay? But that's the moment where we all kind of like had to look at that and say, fuck, all right. That's not how that's not how any of us wanted that to turn out. All right, but in 2003, 2004, we all wanted that fucking fight, except for a few people out there who, I don't care if it was Pearl Harbor, they'd probably say, fuck that. We're not, that's an overreach of government.
Was it famously that when they voted to go to war, that there was one person that said, like, one. Yeah, and the statement was, even though I actually support going to war, no...
Oh, you mean during World War II?
Yeah, and it's like no commission, no...
Yeah.
There should never be a unanimous vote to... Yeah. And he was like, I support this.
She.
Yeah, was it a she?
It was a she.
Who was it?
From Wyoming. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like there were like 5 female members of Congress ever. at that point in time, and she was one of them. And she's like, yeah, it was the principle of the thing. Somebody should always.
Somebody should always.
Yeah.
And yeah, I completely agree with that now. But I can tell you the afternoon of September 11th. I'm not even talking the morning after. The afternoon of September 11th. A lot of us were like, I want to taste blood. It's like, and we didn't even know. It was like, I don't know whose ass needs to be kicked, but it needs to be kicked yesterday. And, it's the same thing. Like, Patrick, can we really have another Great Depression? No, because we put these safeguards in there and that's kind of the learning experience, right? That's the same thing now.
Yeah,
now
we came close, so...
We did.
Yeah, but it wasn't the same.
And there are certain institutional rules now where it's like, well, the causes can't happen again. The runs can't happen again. And, it's the same thing. It's those of us who have been through COVID go back and they say, there's a disease coming up. It's like, all right, got it. No masks.
Yeah.
We'll get vaccines when the vaccines come out.
Yeah.
Right? And
get cracking on that now.
Yeah.
So don't do this fucking cover-up bullshit. Get us the genome now, so that we can figure it out.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we go back to, you put the stickers back in the stores and say, keep some distance. I can do that because I want to do that anyway.
Yeah, that one's pretty easy.
That's not a problem.
You know how many people still fucking use those in the gas station and stuff? So it's kind of interesting. So
that's fine.
Even though they're not even on the ground, people still kind of do that.
Just kind of mentally.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
It was like this much distance, where you spread your arms out.
You everybody has one, 6-foot friend, so I'm like, one William distance between me.
Well, it's like a half a William now. It's okay for one arm,
For you.
Well, like I don't need my arm and your arm to both determine that. One arm's good for me now. So.
I'm still at 2.
Okay.
And look, and the truth of the matter is that I kind of had some of that before because back in the day, I just remember just going to the Safeway or something, and there was just, I don't know what it was. I'd always be in line behind this walking corpse. This person that would always have that cough. You know which one I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I just, ever since then, I was like, let me just kind of give a little bit more room.
Yeah, I was always pretty cautious. I was always really good, even before the pandemic, I've always been really good about washing my hands whenever I go to a public restroom or something like that.
Yeah.
I noticed I did not get as sick as often. So
no, you don't. And there's just the biggest thing for me was I go back and I say, when was I getting sick the most of my life? A, it was when I had the most contact with children. And B, when I had a 75% Burger King diet or derivative.
Right.
So it was like, when did I stop getting sick? Oh, washing my hands and eating better.
Oh.
Wow. That's true.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, speaking of eating better, I tried your steak method the other day.
Did you like it or dislike
it? I really liked the taste of it, but man, it set off all my smoke detectors.
Okay.
So how do I not do that? So.
Okay. So. This
is where you baste it in butter over and over and over.
You will dial in the exact temperature that works for you. Okay. Where it's going to be different, you have to dial in a little bit. So if you went a little bit too hot this time, dial it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the pan is going to get hot, especially that pan that you have.
Yeah, no, I have a cast iron pan. It works great. So that was the other thing that happened was I think the pan was too hot, which meant that it wasn't cooking through. So do I need lower heat for longer times? Because you said 2 or 3 minutes on each side. There's no fucking way I can cook a steak that fast. Even if it's on extremely hot, it just chars the entire outside.
Well, for me that's fine.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I actually.
Oh, so you like it really rare in the middle?
I like it rare in the middle.
Oh, okay.
But that being said, if you want it a little bit more done in the center, turn the heat down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, and then. Just go a little bit, not too much longer on each side, because this is what's going to cause the
smoke.
Because ultimately what you're doing is you're hitting the burning point of the smoke point of butter.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And if you do that like right away, if you're doing it fast, you don't really have enough time for it to smoke up bad.
Oh, so you're hitting the smoke point of the butter, not the meat.
Right.
Okay, got it.
Right. Because
So
that's
you got to
what's
keep
burning.
the butter at a certain temperature.
Yeah, that's what's burning.
Okay.
It's the same thing with olive oil. It's the same thing. That's the trick. And so if you want it a little bit longer, heat needs to come down a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're only going to cook it 4 minutes, fucking not a problem. Right?
Yeah, no, I need to cook it longer than that.
Then
So,
you just
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it blue in the middle.
yeah. All right.
I don't like the texture of that, man.
I have no problem.
Yeah, I know. It tastes good, and the taste was fantastic. All right, it was just it set off all my smoke detectors, and the outside was like a hockey puck. So
Okay.
you know,
Okay. Yeah.
I had to
So-
cook it that long in order to get the internal temperature to where I wanted it.
There you go. All right.
Okay.
So that's the trick, yeah, and that's the whole thing. And you baste it. It keeps it moist.
Yeah, that wasn't hard.
Flavor is
Yeah, that part was fine. So
And the other thing I recommend is just get a sheet of aluminum foil, put it out there because it's gonna like splatter all over your goddamn stove.
actually, mine wasn't that bad, but like what I do whenever I'm cooking with butter, all right, or anything like that, is I always keep a damp rag,
Okay.
and I just wipe it as I
Yeah.
go, and it's like so you just keep that going. But I mean, it doesn't work as good when I'm cooking with olive oil because it's resistant to that, but the butter just soaks right in. So
Okay.
yeah, so
Yeah.
olive oil is like putting fucking. It's like putting car wax on it. So it is really resistant to any kind of moisture.
You know what? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's kind of like olive oil is. It's like cleaning your glasses with a tissue.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, the thing that I still do my baked potatoes and I rub them in olive oil. So.
Good man.
Oh man, I love them that way. They're fantastic. So.
Well, you actually bake the suckers.
I
Right?
actually do bake them,
Yeah.
but I mean, if I don't have enough time, I'll do the microwave method too. So, but if I know that I'm not going to eat for an hour and a half, I just throw them in there. So, because it's like, okay, my wife's coming home from the gym at this point in time, so fuck, we'll eat at this time, so I better put them in now. And like you can't. It takes a lot of time to actually burn a baked potato.
It does.
So even if you throw it in an hour and you're not going to eat for another half an hour, you just turn that down to like 200. So and then just leave it in there. It's fucking fine.
Dude, come on, man. Like, so when you've gone to restaurants where they actually have baked potatoes at the ready and they're just
Right.
wrapped in foil,
They've been there
They
for
didn't just come out,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, they're not fresh.
you don't see Giuseppe come out back with a tray and say, baked potatoes are ready.
If it was your baked potato, you'd be waiting an hour and a half for it. So
like every now and then they come
Yeah.
out there and put a few more pieces of foil in the thing,
right.
or just in the tray or wherever you get them,
Yeah.
and they're never bad.
No,
They're never bad. Now,
they're fine.
I do the microwave thing, and you know what? I'm gonna come clean. They come out mealy sometimes. You're like,
Yeah.
well, I did pump radiation through you to cook you.
Yeah, the thing about microwaving is I'll only do it if they're a certain size. So they got to be about like normal baked potato size. If you
No
get those
footballs.
big fucking
Yeah, no
honkers,
footballs,
or if
no-
you get the little ones, the plum size ones.
Yeah.
So those I make smashed potatoes out of those. But like if you try and put that dude in the microwave, it's gonna come out glowing. So
Come out glowing,
yeah.
and you don't get to eat it for a while because you tried, and then you burn
nuclear
off
hot,
3
yeah.
layers of skin on whatever it touches. You spit,
Right, yeah.
or you try to like kill it with like Coke.
You put your fork in it, your fork will melt, man. All right, man, we're at $1.30. So.
Yeah, I got about like 3 minutes left, but yeah, that's.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay.
Well, that's I missed times. I hit the button.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
okay.
So
So cooking tips. We'll end on that today.
you know what?
The,
We
the butter
haven't
the butter
gone there
basting is
before.
actually really good. So
The
yeah.
flavor it brings out is
The flavor is amazing.
crazy.
Yeah, it's way better than the oil that I was using before.
And you do know that once that's done, you put the steak down and you put that right on top.
Yeah, okay, so by the time my steak was done, that stuff was pretty black.
Okay,
so I did not do that.
What I will say,
Yeah.
okay, there's two things you can do with that as long as you haven't destroyed it, which
Yeah.
I understand. Number one, you either pour it on top of your steak, or if you have a potato,
Yeah.
hit the potato.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So,
Steak butter on a potato
that's
is
pretty amazing. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm kind of a sour cream guy, so
you can still put
yeah,
sour
you can
cream
still
on
do
it,
that,
but
can't
you don't flush that flavor.
Yeah.
You don't put that in your sink.
Yeah, no. It's a good tip. So we'll try it again next time. I might even try it reverse searing it, so where I bake it for a little bit to get it to where I want it.
Yeah.
And then butter it
People
up.
do that too.
Yeah, I
People
might
do that
do
too.
that.
Shit, a lot of people will do like what I talked about, just to like they do it super hot for only like a minute,
Yeah.
right? And I mean super hot
Yeah,
because
but
they
I don't
want
have a gas grill, man. Mine only gets so hot. So
But I'm just saying
Oh.
they sear the hell out of each side, then they go straight into the.
So I've been doing it that way, all right. But I actually like the flavor your way better. So
That's
yeah,
my take. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not that it's still good, right?
Yeah.
These things we're not talking about like A, C plus or anything. We're talking about A plus, A minus,
Yeah.
right? They're all good.
they're all good.
You just dial it in eventually. Like shit, you can eventually like, put some of your own, like, if you want herbs in there,
Right.
you
Yeah.
can do that.
In the butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we're over and we're getting awfully domesticated. So.
Yeah. I'll save cleaning tips, house cleaning tips for next time.
Oh yes, I'll tell you. You know, the purple Kaboom will do great things for you.
I love the purple Kaboom. So I really do. Yeah, it's the all cleaner.
Patrick, purple Kaboom is what I put in my actual carpet cleaner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I put it in my mopping solution. I use it to clean my bed. Okay, fucking, I'm done. So this is another 15-minute discussion.
No, do you want to talk about the matching aprons that we ordered off of Amazon?
I haven't got mine yet.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm Pat.
I'm Jeff.
I'm hitting a button.
We have Martha Stewart knee pads.
You bet.